So maybe this will give you an idea that you need to step up if you're a man, and if you're a woman, don't settle. Sí hablo español, pero no practico mucho. Like the last day of us coming here, I was spending with my friends. As everyone else, I don't like failures. It's like, especially if you have this trait of perfections, like failures for you, it's like, oh my god. Hello guys, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Miriam and I'm your friend. Welcome to Healthy Chit Chat, aka Healthy Habit. Today I'm gonna talk about, well, no, I'm not gonna talk about anything. We are gonna do a Q&A. So actually I'll have few questions, like regular questions that people normally ask, but also I ask some deeper questions to AI to ask me, and I screenshot it. So I'm gonna read the question and ask myself, I think it's gonna be a more deeper than just responding like how many languages you speak, which country you're from, which I'm gonna do all of that. But I think it was more interesting for me to ask AI to ask me deeper questions. So we can talk, because it's a deep talk. You know, we love deep talks here. So that's why we're gonna do that. But also I'm gonna answer the basic ones that, you know, because I realized I was looking at my channel and I realized I never have done Q&A. I've done like healthy products, you know, about specific topics or relationships, you know, and everything else, but not like Q&A. So yeah, I am super excited. So let me go and grab the questions. Well, I think I can start with the, you know, not the basic, but like the regular ones, okay? So where are you from? We're gonna go from here, but you'll see it's gonna be deeper the more that we can go. So I was born and raised in Armenia. I was 12, I always forget, 12/13 years old when we came. By we, I mean my family and myself. We immigrated here in Canada, and since then I'm living there, so it's been a while. Since then I'm living here, so it's been a while. And as a child, I didn't want to come here because I had so many friends in Armenia. I was studying there, of course. I was just my relatives and my friends, family. Like, I didn't want to come here. And I remember that vividly. Like the last day of us coming here, I was spending with my friends. So you can imagine, like, the whole day. So you can imagine how attached I was to my friends. And yeah, I can go on and on, but like, it was a long answer. But yeah, as a kid, I didn't want. But now, then I look back, I'm very grateful, very, very grateful for the decision that my parents made, because without that decision, I honestly don't know what my life would look like by now. So I'm still very grateful. One day I'll have the chance to tell you more in details, like because yeah, crazy things happen. So one day I'll tell you, but until then, let's go to the next question. So, speaking of languages that I just talked in the introduction, how many languages and what kind of languages do I speak? So I speak Armenian, Russian, French, English, and Spanish. I know you're like, oh my god, how? But trust me, it's not that easy to speak that many languages, meaning that sometimes I even ask myself, like, what is the language that my thoughts most of the time are? And I'll tell you more in details what I mean. But so Armenian, of course, I was born and raised in Armenia. Of course, I speak Armenian, like, until now with my family at home. I'm trying my best to speak Armenian. Well, English, of course, and then French, because I live in Montreal, Canada, and here it's the first language. It's French, so I've learned French. But the funny thing is that while I was learning French when I came here, there was so many Hispanic people around me that I kind of learned both at the same time. And I know it's crazy, but I've always loved Spanish. And when I was in Miami recently, I had the chance to practice my Spanish. So sí hablo español, pero no practico mucho. But yeah, I love it. And I can understand almost everything. I even watch like some TV shows. Well, I used to watch some TV shows in Spanish as well. But now, like, I tend to forget everything because I don't use it. But in Florida, it was a good, good practice for me. So yeah, it's funny. And I learned basically at the same time. And French, I studied in French through college, university. So everything was in French. My job at the time was in French, and now it's like everything in English. And yeah, and about Russian, yeah. So Russian, so in Armenia, it's the second language. I don't know if it's still the case because, well, in Armenia, you learn Russian as well because of Soviet Union. Armenia was part of it at that time. So, and I don't know why, even after Soviet Union, like, it stayed in the culture and everything else. So I believe until now they do teach Russian at schools. I am not sure if in every school, but yeah, so I needed to learn Russian. I honestly understand everything, even if I speak, like, it's, you know, like, it's hard for me to speak. Anyway, it's a long response for just languages, but just so you know, like, even, yeah, I don't use it as much as I would like, but yeah. And it's still like, see, when you speak different languages, like, if you do, your personality changes. I mean, you're not changing as a person, but like your jokes that you make, the humor also that you understand, everything, it's like changing. I feel like I love myself more when I speak in English than French, let's say. But it's, how can I tell you? Like, if you speak multiple languages, you will understand. But yeah, like, your personality changes. And for me, language is so important also to connect with others and to understand others, right? Because we can have so many like setbacks because of language. And until now, sometimes I'm thinking in Armenian, sometimes I'm thinking in French, sometimes I'm thinking in English. And I feel like, anyway, the thoughts aren't as clear as it can be if you speak multiple languages. That's just my opinion and my experience. But anyway, that was a long question. Let's do one deeper one. Because, by the way, I didn't read any of this, so I didn't prepare any questions for the deeper questions, any responses for the deeper questions. What daily habits or rituals have contributed the most to your high performance? Habits or rituals? Let me see. Water, drinking lots of water, for sure. I wouldn't high perform, if you will, as much as I do if I wasn't hydrated enough. And I know it looks silly, because you would think that I would tell you this complicated stuff that you need to do, habits, and you need to do. It's a healthy habit channel, so duh. But no, water has helped me so much. You don't know how little you drink until you actually track your water. So yeah, water for me, it's the number one thing ever. And you don't know how little you drink until you actually track it. So once I started to track, I'm like, okay, so I drink literally this little. And everything has changed now. I try to do my best to drink. Now I drink 1 gallon every single day. And I mean, at first it's a lot. Like, I don't recommend starting to 1 gallon at first. I started to be mindful, honestly, about water, like even 10 years ago. I just was increasing it slowly, because once you go 1 gallon, like right away, and you didn't even drink half gallon, it's going to be way too much for your body. And at first, when I started to drink lots of water, this is the thing that I always forget to tell people when I tell them, oh, it's the water. My number one habit is that at first you might even feel like a little bit dizziness when you drink lots of water, because it flushes all of the good stuff as well. So if you can maybe drink with put some electrolytes in it, or lemon even, I don't know, like, you do your research. But honestly, at first you need to put something in your water. Yeah, don't drink just plain water 1 gallon every single day at once. That I wouldn't recommend. So yeah, I mean, it's the water. And also doing things that you told yourself you're going to do. Meaning that, and I'm not telling you that, oh my God, every single day needs to be perfect, which I have that personality that everything needs to be perfect. I'm honestly working on it. I'm very happy. I'm sure that question will pop up, but so I can elaborate more, but don't be hard on yourself. And like, I know that every one of us want to high perform, but at some point in our lives, we need to have a limit. Anyway, I have long answers. I'm going to try to do more quick. Yeah. Next question. I love this. I love the deeper, I love the deeper questions. So next question. How do you handle setbacks or failures, and what do you learn from them? How do you handle setbacks or failures? I'm not gonna lie. As everyone else, I don't like failures. It's like, especially if you have this trait of perfections, like failures for you, it's like, oh my God. But with time, I've learned that it's part of the game. Failures, it's part of the game. It doesn't need to be very big. It doesn't need to be very small. It doesn't matter if it's a little one or a big one. It will be part of your life, whether in your professional life, personal life, relationships, friendship, you name it. It's part of the life. So what I've learned is to let go things that I can't control. And it's very hard, but it's one of the habits that I practice. It's one of the habits that I practice daily, not daily, but whenever it comes, like if something comes up and I don't have control, it's like, okay, I didn't have control, next time I will. Or if it's something that I did have control and I did fail, it's like, okay, what can I learn from it? So next time I don't repeat the same mistake. But I'm going to lie to you if I tell you, oh, it doesn't affect me at all, because it does. But it used to affect me more. So you have no idea how much it would affect me back then. But since I've done the work, I work on myself. I know that it's part of the game. It's like, you can't win if you don't fail. It's no way. You know why? Because when you fail, you learn even more. If you were always winning, what you're going to learn? Nothing. I mean, not as much, So it's part of the life. It's part of the life. What's the role of your physical health and energy in your overall success? Huge. Like, you can't high perform and not work out or not eating healthy as much as you can ever, because what you put in your body, it matters. Like, how do you move your body? It matters as well. Your energy levels, change your energy, change your mind, like Tony Robbins say. And also I highly, highly believe in that as well. It's very, very crucial. It's very, very important too. Because if you don't move your body, you won't have energy. And I know most of us, we're like, oh my God, I don't have energy to move. It's because energy creates energy. It's because you don't move. That's why you don't have energy. Sometimes do you think that I always have energy? Do you really think that I always want to work out? Do you really think that I always want to go for my walk when it's minus 30 Celsius outside or more cold? No. I force myself. Sometimes, most of the time, I force myself at this point. Because at first, I feel like when you just start out, it's why people are more motivated, because they hit the dopamine quickly, because their body is not used to. But at some point, when you do it every single day, the hitting of the dopamine decreases. It becomes longer and longer. Before, maybe like 20 minutes of workout would hit me, the dopamine, which is, the hormone of happiness, whatever. I would feel great. Now, if I work out 20 minutes, I wouldn't feel anything. If I walk for only 20 minutes, I wouldn't feel some changes. So it needs to be much longer. I don't know why I'm talking about this. But yeah, so it's very, very important. And then sometimes, and the other day I was telling this on my Instagram stories, like, if you don't want to go to the gym, we gotta force ourselves. And if we really can't, even forcing ourselves, okay, because of, mental health and mentally, and sometimes we can't even go. So I do understand So just ask yourself that question. Okay, what you can do, even if it's for a few minutes, it's better than zero, right? We are like always like, okay, it's all in or nothing, or I go 3 times to the gym or I don't go. It's not like, oh, I can't go 3 times, but I can once. It still counts. It's better than zero. So now I've trained my mind to be like, okay, if I don't feel right, if I don't feel okay, if I don't feel my best, before I would literally force myself and be exhausted. Now I'm like, okay, I listen to my body. I listen to myself. What can I do so I can feel more energized? What can I do so I can still move my body even if it's at home? Even if it's for a few minutes, what can I do? That's the important question that you can ask yourself. Next question. Who do you put yourself around to stay at your best? And how do you find those people? Wow. Okay. This is a great question because I'm going to be honest, it's very hard for me to find those people that I can be around my best, because for that, we need to talk about growth. We need to talk about winning. We need to talk about dreams. We need to talk about how we can improve ourselves. And those kind of people are very, very, very rare. Those kind of people I only meet, as of now, I only meet when I go to personal development events. Why? It's because they're there as well to learn, to be their better self, to change their lives for the better. And for me, it's very, very hard, especially as a woman, to be around those kind of people. And why I specified as a woman, it's because I'm not married woman, it's because just having a deeper connection, I hope you realize that how hard it is. Now, I'm not telling for men it's easy. No, certainly it's not. But for women, it's even harder, especially if you're not married. If you're a woman and you're not married, and I'm going to explain to you why. See, for a man, if he does his personal development, in my opinion, I didn't hear some stories or whatever, but most of the time, for them, it's okay if their future wife, they don't do personal development or they do as much of personal development, because as a man, they need to always feel that they're growing, they're, this, man they can provide, and there's nothing wrong. It should be like that. But they're always like, okay, I need to, to high perform more than my wife, right? And again, I'm not telling you to judge men or anything like that, or if you're that kind of a relationship where you are the man and you do your personal development and your future wife or wife doesn't. I'm not judging or anything like that. It's just for men, it's not a big deal. I mean, in my opinion, it's always good when, both partners do their personal development, but again, for them, it's not a big deal. Somehow, it's not. But for a woman, okay, who has lots of ambitions, who always wants to be successful, who always wants to be more successful, who does her personal development. Do you see how it's hard to be with a man that doesn't? And I'm not just talking about romantically relation, just regular, like even woman to woman or woman to man. It's the same. Well, not the same, but you know what I mean. Just relationships in general. But if we talk romantically, do you know how I don't want to judge, but 99%, it won't work. It literally won't work. Because as a woman, you're always going to grow and your man is going to stay here. As a woman, you're always going to want more. You're always going to achieve more as a man. If your man, your significant other, is not, it's a problem. Because you're always going to feel superior. And again, no one should feel superior. Because you are partners. You should be equal anywhere. This is a long response. But I really wanted to talk about this so you will understand, especially if you're a woman or you're a man, but you have sisters, like your significant other maybe does more personal development than you. So maybe this will give you an idea that you need to step up if you're a man. And if you're a woman, don't settle, because it's hard for you to find a man that does their personal development as well and wants to be better in general. Don't settle. there were so many moments in my life where I'm like, okay, am I even, I don't know if I'm gonna post this, but like to include this clip, but like so many times in my life, I'm like, even if I'm gonna find a man that wants to get better as much as I do, but you know what? I tell myself next that yes, I will. It's not impossible. And I'm never gonna be settling just so I can just find a man to be with a man. I am happy alone. I found peace when I was alone. So, and this will be continued.